And we're back. The third go around tonight. Making it happen only because I love this guy. He's a great guest. People request him and they send in questions. Former NYPD cop, transit officer, worked for the homeless outreach program in New York City, worked the subway system for 13 years and had never been on a subway. And then he gets a job and has to go down there, and his radio didn't work. And then he went on to television, film, and here he is, the one, the only, Mr. John DiResta. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me back. Always fun.
Dude, thank you. Thank you, man. I know you guys got the hit show on Hulu, Hammered with John. And
Jimmy DiResta. We watched an episode last week. My daughter had us over for dinner. And we watched an episode of my own show, which is kind of weird. And I was fat. And I had an unusual hair comb.
Yeah. And, when you watch something like that, do you just kind of hang out in the back of the room and look at everybody's reaction? Or
No. I'm right there making fun of it. I know how to get the biggest laughs. No, I'm leaning forward saying, you know, what's with that shirt? Look at that. As soon as we saw the dartboard, this is a true story. It was a fix-it show or a building show on HGTV with a false workshop. They made us the workshop. It wasn't my workshop. It wasn't a real workshop. It wasn't Jimmy's workshop. And as soon as I saw the dartboard, I knew the show was over. For real. The dartboard, that represents men that build things. When they're in between building, they shoot darts. It just rang so false.
What do guys do now in between? They probably like look at their phones and stuff, right? That's probably what they do.
You go to your phone, you check for the next customer, you check the updates on the news, you catch your updates on Brian Callen and his eyelids.
Yeah, the latest in Hollywood. Yeah, and that would be kind of boring.
That's it. You go back to work. That's it. You're not shooting darts.
Pumping iron in between jobs.
No, I do that. Believe it or not, I bronze off. If there's no one at the shop, I take my shirt off and I got gross, disgust. Oh, fucking joke killer.
Sorry. Yeah, you bronze off and what do you do?
I cough over someone's story.
Sorry, man. It's a
No, I'm only joking. I'm joking. I bronze off and I got to try and stay in shape. But again, I'm lucky enough to be at a workshop where there's nobody there, no customers, no other workers. I set it up now that about 2 or 3 hours a day, I work by myself. I smoke a CBD joint or two.
You don't try to throw darts and wait for the phone to ring?
Not at all. No darts. But I do check my email and I check daily news. I check New York Post, New York Daily News, Instagram, Facebook.
I got a question for you. So for people, if it's their first time seeing us, you have this great story. You were a cop for 13 years and then bam, you worked as a stand-up comic, and then you got the opportunity of a lifetime, your own sitcom. But that's not from the sitcom, is it, or is it?
No, this is a real photo of me as a rookie cop, 1986-87 in Brooklyn. Can you see it?
Yeah, it looks straight out of Central Casting.
Yeah, I got the mustache. They call that a flavor saver in West Hollywood. I was sitting between two homeless bums, as we used to call them in the subway. I did not know them. They just posed for the photo. I did stand-up for about 5 or 7 years. Talked about being a transit cop in the subway of New York. Our motto was "You ride, we hide." And Disney, I won New York's Funniest Cop in real life. They had a big contest. As much as you could poo-poo a contest, there's about 150,000 New York City cops that are retired and active, and they're all funny. And I was the funniest. So Disney tracked me down and gave me a sitcom.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see that. Here's the bed.
Hold it right up to the camera. Go a little bit closer. Wow, has your name and everything.
That's the name of the sitcom.
That's cool. DiResta, and you're that guy in the flannel shirt right there.
That's me in the flannel shirt. We did 12 or 13 episodes, and then I actually sales pitched. They were going to cancel the show, and the vice president of UPN had me in for a meeting, and all alone, no agents, no nothing, no clipboards, I just talked him into 6 more episodes of the sitcom, and he said, I'll give you a shot. He gave me 6 more, and On the fifth one, we did the table reading, and it sucked. It was horrible. No one laughed at anything. And in the very last episode on the order, we were going to get in a camper and go to Florida, from New Jersey. And they had bought a camper, really beat up from Craigslist. So on the second to last episode, we're all having coffee, the cast going, this is a train wreck. We just had a table read with 200 people, executives and food, and no one laughed. And a friend of mine, the guy who played my sergeant, looked up and said, "John, I think it's over." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Look." And there was the camper that they had bought 2 days before on a hook, on a tow truck, and being towed right through the front doors of Paramount. And they made a right on Melrose, and it went off into the sunlight. And that night we were told not to come back.
Wow.
And we all needed that extra money on those last 2 episodes. Whatever we were making, everybody was like, "Hey, at least we got this coming."
Yeah.
And they didn't pay us for those.
Damn it. Interesting.
That's okay. That was 22 years ago.
I got a question for you. Okay, so it's funny because you're a regular on here, and it's one of those things where I'm like, well, maybe I'll wait like a month or I'll wait 2 months to have him back. But things keep coming up in the news about cops, police officers, and I'm like, well, let me get his opinion. Let me see what and people want to, you're our connection. You're in the comedy world, and you are also, what it was like.
I was a member of 2 police departments, NYPD for 3 years and the New York City Transit Police for about 9 or 10 years.
Yeah.
2 different police academies.
I got a question for you. And we're gonna get real light and silly in a little while, but I want to know, I don't know if you saw, I'm sure you did on the news, that these 2 police officers got ambushed down, I want to say in Compton, and they worked for the sheriff's department, and I think that they were in transit.
They were transit division, so yes, they were fellow transit cops in a weird way. I mean, there's a, when I heard that they were transit, it made me extra sad. But yeah, it's a horrible story. It's the lowest thing on earth. People making jokes about it afterwards. I can't even watch the video. It's almost like pure evil, and it's pure evil that's accepted. It's very strange. And then to hear that we're all grown adults, and we've never ever in our lives heard that someone's going to block the entrance.
I know.
To an emergency room, to cops that got shot, not even in a shootout with a robber for no reason, and then you're going to block the entrance. I mean, it's wildly sad. It's a whole new level of disregard, disrespect, sadness, and where's the the guy that got shot in Compton 3 weeks ago was holding a machine gun. He wasn't sitting in a cop car having lunch, listening to AM radio. He had a machine gun, and everyone knows he had a machine gun. And they have a photo of the machine gun. And the people that were all there said, yeah, he had a machine gun. And then to shoot an innocent person, a mother of a rookie, for
Yeah, they'd been on the job
and
for 14 months.
That's equal time?
Yeah, that's insane, right? She was a mother, 6-year-old child. Her partner is 24 years old. I mean, they've been on the job for 14 months. It's like, No,
it makes me wildly sad. I mean, there's and like I said, there's a video of a guy kind of making fun of them, or he was there right after, and someone's hiding him out. They keep going on the news. Do you think someone's hiding him out? Of course. What is it? What is he living under a car? He's being hit out by somebody, and guess what? It's a known thing in police. You don't know this, and that's why you have me on.
Yeah.
Guess how they're going to crack the case? Take one guess.
Oh, let me guess. They're going to keep raising the money, and then someone's going to say, "Okay, I know snitches get stitches, but that's $100,000, or that's."
Somebody always gives in for the money. Always.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Always. Or this is another thing. A friend of mine was in a fugitive task force. If you can get to the family and say, "Look, he's going to get killed. You got to let us know where he is. If you want him to live, we'll give him a fair trial." Right now, if you keep him on the run and don't tell us where he is, he's going to die in a shootout. So do you want your son to live? Help us out. It's a major guilt bomb. I have a friend, Detective Fleming, whenever he questioned someone of Hispanic descent, he made sure there was a humongous wooden cross right behind his head, the cop, to add guilt.
It works. Oh my God, it so works, because I have a friend that had to do I think it's called disposition. I don't know. Is that the word? I don't know. He had to meet with some lawyers, and he said that, and the people knew. And basically, it was a family squabble, and he said that what you just said. They were asking questions, and right above his head, they'd taken a photo of his own father, who passed away when my friend was like 18 years old. So he has to answer these questions, and he's seeing his father right there.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and so it's like it was very emotional for him, and the whole thing. And yeah, he said he basically crumbled like a cookie, didn't, and that was just over a little frivolous lawsuit or whatever you would call it, family squabble type of thing.
It's the miracle is how they help each other out, and the miracle is that it looks like they're going to live and be heroes, and they're legit heroes. I mean, imagine being shot in the face 4 or 5 times.
Okay, I got some serious questions for you. Let me grab a drink of water. Hold that thought. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. All right, we're going to start with some little cop questions, and then we'll move down to some silly stuff. All right, here we go. So I got I don't know how the air quality is here. I was up near Fresno, and it's unhealthy up there. It's very unhealthy. And where I was at, it was on the AQI index. It was like 195, so it was unhealthy. And then if I went just 9 miles east, closer to the mountains, it went up to 265. And then when I was driving through like Tulare and stuff, oh my gosh, it was so smoky, and it's hazardous up there. The air is hazardous. Wow. So I apologize if my voice is a little raspier than normal. Okay, here we go. Cop questions. John DiResta. Would you have ever applied to be a police officer if the environment then was like it is now?
1,000% no. I took the job because my dad wanted me to have a pension and benefits, and he kind of talked me into it. I didn't have much else going on. I kind of knew I wanted to be an actor and a comedian, and that's like saying you want to be an astronaut. And
yeah.
So I took the police exam with the intentions of getting an injury to get off the job or an inside job. And I knew 34 or 35 years ago, I knew that the fix was in to put cops in prison. Like the tide was starting to turn, and that was 35 years ago. So I stayed 100% away from any real police work, knowing they would like to put you in jail.
Yeah.
And that was 35 years ago.
Yeah, that wasn't like, and did you hear, what would be if there was to be a, quote, easier job in police work, what would be an easier job?
Working at the police academy, Monday to Friday, weekends off. Young recruits that think you're a hero.
And
of course, dude. Well, instructor, you could be a driving instructor Monday to Friday, teach people how to drive a police car. You could work
cool.
you could work at the range. If you like guns, it's Monday to Friday, weekends off. There's 1,000 inside jobs.
And would you still be a cop to do that, or would you be a private citizen doing that?
No. You're still a cop. And, I worked homeless outreach, midnight clerical. I had slippers made out of Subway maps. Subway maps and silver duct tape. I used to handcuff the front doors of where I worked. I was the only guy. Imagine someone knocking on like a police precinct. I loosely say precinct, but we were all mostly plain clothes, but everybody knew there was cop cars in front. And on a midnight shift, I would handcuff the 2 doors from the inside and sleep right out of anyone's eyesight. So if someone juggled the doors, I'd wake up, shake it off, and uncuff the doors and say, "Oh, I was downstairs checking the lockers." So I was midnight clerical, homeless outreach, weekends off, midnight to 8 in the morning. You couldn't bury yourself any deeper in the police department unless you were legitimately killed and buried in dirt. That's how buried I was. And when I was so broke, so broke because I had a wife and 3 kids. I would, on that midnight shift, I'd go to the freezer and with like a chisel and a nightstick, chip out anything that was frozen and like 6 by 6 and 3 inches deep. And you couldn't even read what it was. It was so old and frozen and hard. And I put it in the microwave, and now I'd have like healthy chicken that had spare ribs with it that was 4 years old, that had zero flavor. Or watch this. I was so broke on clerical. There was 2 or 3 other guys that worked clerical for their units. And they would like at 1 a.m. we're ordering a pizza. And I'd say, no, I don't have any money. I legitimately didn't have any money. Then they'd buy the pizza. And when they threw it out, there'd be 3 slices. I would eat those slices. And they'd say that I was a schnurrer, that I didn't want to chip in. And I say, I don't have anything to chip in. I'm that broke, and I'm going to eat that pizza because now it's in the garbage. Now it's anybody's. It's in the public domain.
The public domain. I remember I used to be really hungry, and I worked at Carl's Jr., and I used to eat all the mistakes. They're like, hey, there's a bunch of mistakes, and then they'd throw them in the trash, but then they'd still have the wrappers on them, and they'd be in the box, and I'd be like, oh, I'll take out the trash, and then I'd go into the dumpster. I'd take the trash to the dumpster, and the dumpster was like fenced off, and so I'd go inside the fenced area, close the gate, and before taking the trash and dumping it in the dumpster, I'd be like, oh, here's those burgers that are still warm.
Nice.
I told my wife that story. She's like, gross. But I was like 16, 17, you know?
I was known in before I became a New York City transit cop, in New Paltz College. I went to college in New Paltz, New York. Same college as Brian Scalaro. I was known for guzzling beer and eating food out of the garbage. That was my shtick.
Ugh.
Your turn.
All right. Here we go. If you witnessed a fellow officer committing a crime, what would you do?
What did I do?
Yeah. Do you want to know? I mean, you could pass on this, or you could answer.
In my 12 and a half, 13 years as a New York City cop, I only saw one person get hit with what is commonly known as a cheap shot. And I might have told you this already. It was a guy, he broke a girl's, this part of your bone with his fist.
Orbital bone, I believe.
And stole her wedding ring. When all he had to do was steal her wedding ring, he didn't have to do that. And all she was doing was going to work in the morning on the subway. So he got arrested. He was cuffed from behind, and the sergeant showed up and said, spread your legs. And he said, I said, spread your legs further. And the sergeant kicked him with all his might right up in his baby maker sack, right in his balls. So, I mean, you know, I don't think that was the one to go to the internal affairs with.
Right.
But I did see a cop. I worked with a cop. One night, he committed a felony. This is a true story. He committed a felony when I was with him, but it's the lowest form of a felony, but it was a felony. We had 59th on the R, the whole station for the night. Not 3 or 4 stations, one station the whole night. Because like 3 different trains meet there, so people are coming and going all night long, coming and going.
Yeah.
And you could either be down on the platforms where all the people are waiting and the train's coming, or you go up to the mezzanine. Now you're near the token booth, and you know fresh air is blowing down. It's. So we get to the station. Me and Willie. I don't want to say his last name. We're in uniform.
Nelson, Willie Nelson.
We check in with the token clerk. Hey, look at us. We're here, right? You see, in case we disappear for the next 6 hours, we were here at one point. And then we went down to the train to the platform, and there was a guy laying out. He had one arm sticking all the way out, just like this, like he was laying down with his arm out. And he had a Swatch watch on. It had to be worth, $200, $300, $400, whatever they were when they were hot, maybe $100. Swatch watch. And my partner Willie, he was Puerto Rican. He goes, he looks down. He goes, "That's a really nice watch." And then he looks at me and goes, "I'm gonna steal it."
Oh, wow.
Now, if you take anything off a person, doesn't matter what the price is. If you take the ring off their finger, it's a felony. If you take the watch off their wrist, it's a felony. So I said, Willie, I want no part of this. I'm going up to the mezzanine. I stood near the token clerk for about 15 minutes. Willie's all fat, comes waddling up in his uniform, walks up to me, holds his wrist up. Not only has he stole it, he's wearing it.
Wow.
What do you think of my new watch, bro? I said, it looks like you got a good deal. Fucking A right, bro. I got the best deal. Don't clown me, fucker. Don't clown me. I got the best deal. That's a swatch.
Is that the same guy that used to be attracted to homeless women?
Exactly. Oh, you got a good memory. This same cop, years later, we were in the homeless outreach unit, and he used to take home the homeless female clients, female bums, and make love to them. And we would all go, ooh, it's gross. And he'd say, you never know what's under those 9 ski coats.
Oh, God.
Don't clown me, bro.
Gosh.
No Hollywood writer. You could take every writer from Taxi, Seinfeld, to Modern Family. You could take them all, every one of them and every one of their teams. Take the 150 greatest sitcom writers ever, and not one of them would ever come up with the line, you never know what's under those 9 ski coats. Thank you. So he committed a felony while I was on job time, and I wasn't with him when he did it. I didn't know that he did it. I mean, I could have played dumb had he been arrested, but I got to tell you, it's a funny story now. 30 years later, it's a funny story.
I wonder if he still has that swatch.
Watch this. That cop, this is how the balls. It looked like an undercover transit cop laying out there with the bait. You know what I mean? They worked these stations. You'd see them all the time. Undercover cop with a watch on, with his arm sticking out, waiting for you to see. Like, exactly. Like, watch that. Here goes my pension. Dude, his pension would have been right out the window, and he retired with a decent pension.
Next question. There is a lot of... Here we go. Next question coming in. There is a lot of talk now about police reform. What do you think about reforming civilians by having a national campaign about how everybody should handle themselves when stopped or questioned by the police?
You'll never get anywhere with it. Everyone now is a pro. You can have a zillion classes, and people just react the way they react. I don't think that's worth one single dime, one thought. I mean, now people, when they're told to sit down on an airplane, they tell the stewardess, don't pull your white privilege on me. And the stewardess says, you have to sit down, the plane's going to take off. And the woman goes, don't pull your white privilege on me, I'm going to stand on this plane. So if someone's going to do that, people are going to, watch those videos. Everyone is a lawyer now when they get pulled over.
That's true.
Dude, watch this.
Yeah.
There's a group of people that stand in the street and block cars that are a 7-ton killing machine with 500 horsepower under the hood. Then they block it. Then they get surprised when they get run over.
Right.
Then that same group of people, the 50 or 60 or 80 that didn't get run over, attempt to chase a car that's going 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, and then they start throwing stuff and hitting it with skateboards. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, my point is, it's stupid on top of stupid on top of stupid. Like the guy that jumped on the roof of the cop car the other day, and the cop took off. The cop has the legal right to pull away. They're looking to kill them.
Right.
And now they're saying that the cop shouldn't have pulled away. How did that cop know how that guy was going to fall? And he was already en route when the guy jumped on the car. My point being, you're not going to be able to retrain anyone.
Yeah.
And the disrespect is gone.
What is the best TV show of all time, and what is the best movie of all time?
In my life, or have to do with cops?
Just in your life.
Probably Goodfellas, Jaws, Godfather. Best TV show, Sopranos.
Okay, here we go. Have you discovered anything new about yourself or your family since the pandemic started? For instance, we have discovered that some family members are mask militants and a-holes in public if they see someone not wearing a mask in a business.
No, no one in my family is like that. My wife and I did those like first 2 or 3 months when nobody really went out anywhere. My wife was on unemployment. We actually had a fun time together. She cooked 3 meals a day, would plan out each meal and really get into it.
By the way, shout out to your wife. I had chili at your home. It was so good. And you guys had brand new ice cream in the freezer, and I got to open it and try a little bit of each box of ice cream.
Dude, you were eating that chili like you had 2 assholes.
It was great. I didn't even think I was going to eat. Like, I was like, well, I'll try it. And then even when you guys were showing it to me, I was like, yeah, that looks good.
Dude, the next thing I know, there's a whirling noise as you're scraping the bottom of the chili bowl for the third time.
Yeah. And how about when I kept heating up I kept putting it in the microwave, and then I'd stir it and then put it back in, and I'd stir it and put it back in. And, I was like, hey, you're like, yeah, that microwave. You said something about the microwave. Like it's.
It doesn't work right. It's shitty.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I don't know anyone that's hung up on the masks, though. I'm sick of it. I'll tell you that. I'm sick of wearing the dumb mask. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, me too. I'm just like, come on. We get the idea. It's like, my friend lives in another state. He actually left California. Talked to him on the phone the other day. I said, what's the biggest difference? He goes, you know what? He goes, compared to California. When he says California, I think he means like the LA area. He goes, he says that they're not being weird out there, like out in other parts of the country. Like you can actually dine in restaurants, but they'll put the mask on, like at the entrance, like, hey, we have to wear a mask. I get it. But they'll all look at each other like, like he said, there's not a lot of tattletale culture like in Hollywood or North Hollywood or Burbank or whatever, out here.
All of Los Angeles and
culture.
A lot of LA and a lot of California, LA, a lot of these more liberal cities have a lot of experts. They have phones and they're experts on everything. It's sickening. It's sickening.
I get that we got to respect each other, but yeah, I don't like the whole tattletale thing where it's just like, people are yelling across the street, like, hey, wear a mask. And you're like literally like a block away and they get mad at you, and it's like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, I'm done with the mask.
Then again, my friend moved from Hollywood to Sturgis, so what do you expect? Hey! All right, ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw, this is sort of a police question, but not really. I saw it right before you came on. In Georgia, I believe, they were going to, some suspect ran away, and he left a winning lottery ticket. Did you see that?
No.
So apparently, the police, they said, hey, come get your winning lottery ticket. And it was $100, $100. So my question is, what's the most amount of money you've ever won or found?
I was at Avenue X once as a transit cop working alone, Avenue X in Brooklyn, where years before they had killed a black transit worker because he was trying to find lunch. Like he walked too far away from the subway station, and the neighborhood was so violent and racist that they killed a transit worker named Willie Turks with a tree branch. Just to give you like, you know what I mean? So at Avenue X, I had bought a lotto ticket and bird shit on my shoulder right away from the subway pigeon. And then the next day I won $230.
Whoa, $230.
I have found...
Wait, real quick. I got a quick question before you. Can you hold that thought? Don't forget. Okay, you said that so Willie was black,
right?
And they killed him with the tree branch. And do they know who killed him? Did they ever catch?
I don't remember I don't remember. It's something I'd have to look up. I just remember.
It was definitely like a racial type of thing.
It was a racial thing. It was horrible, and all he was he had a legit job, and I guess he walked too far off the the ranch, the transit subway system.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even respect that he was a, you know what I mean? Like, they were as racist as they were, they probably, if the subway station's right there and he's got the outfit on, he's not looking to rob somebody or rape somebody.
Do you think, we're getting kind of heavy on this one, but do you think it was more racial back in the 80s in New York than it is now, or do you even know?
1,000%. I think that the reason they're trying to make such big deal out of the NASCAR noose, which was a handle, or the this case, or the that case, or the that, is because there aren't enough legit ones. Where back in the day there was more legit ones. Yes, I think there's less of it on a whole, but that doesn't matter what I think, because people are going to make up their minds and turn everything any way they like. I'll give you an example. The sheriff of Los Angeles called out LeBron James and said, why don't you put another $125,000 on top of this? Do you know that?
I heard it. Yeah.
A reward.
Yeah. It was like, I thought it was 100, put another 100 grand on it, but whatever. Maybe it was up to 125.
Instead of thinking of, like a lot of people think that I instantly think what LeBron James did or didn't do, and I'm going to, you know what I mean? And I'm going to give my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's more the other way, is that sheriff should be looking for, you know what I mean? I don't think he should involve LeBron James in something that LeBron James had nothing to do with. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, if you're asking me, like even that seems like it's a racial incident. Like, oh, you don't care about them? Let's see if you put the money up. Like, in other words, find the guys that shot these two cops. I mean, why? It seems like that's like a whole side issue that clouds everything.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
I do. I know. It's like, why are you bringing him into it? Like, if he wanted, you know, like if he wanted to say, hey, I'm going to match it, then he'd be like, oh, that's cool. You know, there are some, maybe it would be almost as if saying, okay, I'm not for police brutality, but I'm also not for this. But why are they calling him out? I don't know.
Right. Okay, moving on.
Okay, I'm getting a little feedback. I don't know what just happened. That was weird. Did you see that Logan Paul is going to fight Floyd Mayweather?
Who's Logan Paul? He's a YouTuber?
Yeah, he's a YouTuber. He's really buff, white guy, younger than Floyd Mayweather.
It's the first time hearing of it, and the first two words that come to me is why not? That's the society we live in now. It's a freak show. You know what I mean? Why not tune in to see the guy get beat up and killed, or why not maybe the guy gets a lucky punch? And, you know, what are they each getting, 50 million? Well, we're trying to... I
don't know the details, but I think it's ridiculous. I mean, good for both of them, but really good for Floyd. Floyd, make that money, man. Make that money. And it should be easy money. I mean, come on. It's like...
At the end of the day, it's all a freak show.
Freak show. Here we go. Kanye West. Why am I getting feedback? Did you just... Can you turn my volume down or something? Maybe that... Something happened with the volume, maybe.
I didn't touch anything.
That's so weird. Okay. Kanye West. He was tweeting out all these contracts and stuff, and he was saying, like, hey, Universal screwed me, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever signed a really bad deal or was offered a really bad deal?
I signed one of the worst deals in the history of Hollywood.
What was it?
The rights to my one-man show, I signed away everything, and when the SITCOM money came, the guys who I signed the one-man show with were like, great, look what we made on the SITCOM. My contract was so bad that it was shown in entertainment law classes for lawyers that were going into entertainment law. My contract was in those classes. And part of the contract that I signed in New York was illegal in California. Like they were going to be my managers for like 15 years or 20 years. At 20%.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
No, but even like the year to like they so didn't know about. They were like, again, I'm signing stuff that wasn't even legal.
Next question. What is the last thing you bought that made you happy?
A large screen TV.
You're kidding me.
No, I bought one the other day. It was $300.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, I'm serious.
I'm not sure why it's such a big deal in your life, my TV size. It's hysterical.
I know. I go for you guys that don't know, and you may have heard this or not, but John was like, "We're having a UFC party," and I get there, and it was like it was John, one other guy, and me, the three of us, and the TV. I felt like it was about as big as an iPhone, and we're all like squinting, looking at the TV, and it was actually in reality, it's probably what, a 22-inch television, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
knows?
All I know is it was like it was smaller than I thought, and so I was kind of like busting his chops a little bit. I'm like, damn, it's kind of small. You're like, yeah, people say that, but I'm used to it. But you have since bought a bigger TV since then?
Yeah, and I have to tell you, my life has not really changed that much. All the shows that talk about the size of their TV, like that's the only thing going on in their lives. It's weird. It shows you how vapid people are.
Dude, I went to Walmart. Remember, I went to Walmart recently, and I had my son Austin stand next to the televisions to kind of give you a size reference.
Right?
And,
yeah, I saw.
But you never responded, so I was like, okay, But
I don't respond to a lot of stuff. It's funny. I have a few comedians that send me stuff all the time, and they're like, "Are you mad at me? How come you're not responding?" And I don't even respond to that. I didn't ask for any of this stuff, and I don't mean it in a bad way.
Right.
Like, how many LOLs do I have to do in the middle of my day to scratch your fucking back?
I'm like, look at this TV. It's only whatever. Okay.
No, I'm saying, I got my own fucking back I got to scratch.
Hey, congrats on the new TV, though.
Thank you.
Cool. I'm excited.
It hasn't really changed my life.
It's true, right? It's the same programs, it's just a bigger screen.
All I watch is Hannity and UFC repeats. That's it.
What about that one show that you like, the motorcycle one?
They don't have it on anymore. It used to be on automatically.
Oh, yeah. You love that show.
Like now we have Netflix, and everyone thinks it's anyone that talks about it all the time and watches all these shows that nobody ever heard of. Watch this. They're like, but you have Netflix. I go, I just watch Hannity and UFC repeats. That's it. I don't need all this other dog shit. It's dog shit.
What's your favorite time of day? Morning, afternoon, or night?
Night. I'm a night person.
If you had to have a fast food burger, where would you get your fast food burger from?
Is that choices, or do I give you one?
There's no choices. I mean, I could come up with some choices.
I mean, I like to wait for In-N-Out. And the 5 times a year I get it, right after I eat it, I go, that was dog shit. That did not change my life. It tasted like a fast food burger with a 30-minute wait attached to it.
Yeah.
Wait as in WAIT.
It is better though. It is probably one of the better fast food burgers, though, I would say.
I'm so much in the car, drive through every day because of my job and the woodworking and the comedy, that I'm totally sick of Burger King. I'm sick of McDonald's. At the end, almost 90% of the time after I eat it, I felt like I've eaten like a warm, dead body part from a cat that was hit by a car. Like it's never hot. And the fact that they used to be that big,
right?
Then they went to that big, then they went to this big. Now they're handing you like an Oreo cookie of fake meat.
Yeah, I know. And then to make up for it, you're like, can I get a double-double? And now you have a triple-triple. Can I get a 4x4? Yeah, 4x4. How about this? Would you rather live in a small house on a lot of land or a big house on no land?
That's a good question. If the big land had a pool, I take the small house with the pool.
Small house, a lot of land with the pool.
With a pool.
That's cool. All right, now these last. Okay.
How many more?
I know, right? Okay, I'll skip that one. That was dumb.
No, I don't mind. Hannity's on soon. I got to catch Hannity.
Okay, so you're at Walmart, right? You're at Walmart. You see a guy walking through Walmart. I actually saw this, so I want to know what you would do. This guy, he probably looked like he's about 6'2". Maybe he was homeless. Maybe he was crazy. I don't know what he was, but he's walking through Walmart, had kind of a limp, and he had this jug that looked like it could have been filled with apple juice or urine or lemonade. I don't know what it was. And there was no lid on it. And every time he took a step, it sloshed and spilled on the floor. So he's walking through Walmart, and I saw a trail of liquid. And it looked like he was walking from the front of the store, maybe to the back. I don't know where he was going. So do you tell him that he's spilling liquid? Do you tell an employee? Or do you, number 3, mind your own business? What would you do?
You mind your own business. Nobody cares. He's going to dump piss on you. You're going to tell some employee that's going to go, I'm on my break, bro.
Yeah.
That's the manager. Why don't you mind your own business, bro?
I know.
I could care less. I hope he pours it all over himself and lights himself on fire. What are you, the jug police?
Do you think you would have said the same answer like when you were like 25 years old or 20 years old?
Of course, dude. I knew from day one.
Oh, that's good.
You don't get engaged in any of this stuff with anybody. They're all psychos.
Okay.
Anyone can turn on you in a second.
Last two questions. Now these are two. You're like, get to the question already. Are you gay? No. The last question. Now these are to make my guests feel smart. Okay. I try to pick questions that everybody would know. And just so you know, I only knew one of the answers. I didn't know both answers. At what temperature does water freeze?
31 Fahrenheit.
At what? Okay, and here we go. And what temperature? And I'll give you the correct answers afterwards. At what temperature does water boil?
It freezes at 32. It boils at 180.
Okay, I'm going to look it up because I want to make sure. I think I know the answer, but finally, because you've given two answers for when it freezes. What is your final answer for what
32.
temperature? 32, that's correct, 32. Now I had to look this up. At what temperature does water boil?
180.
I think it's 212.
Okay.
What temperature does water boil?
The boiling point of water is 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius.
It's 212. 212.
Okay, is that the big finish?
I want you to go out with a bang, feeling smart. How many states are there?
50.
Boom, you win. All right, John DiResta.
Hold on. Name one U.S. state that ends in the letter K.
There's none. Zero.
Name one U.S. state that ends in the letter K.
Is there really one?
I'll bet you $100.
There's one that ends with K?
$100. Throw a dick. Bet 100. 10? Want to bet 10?
Ends with K? I don't know. It's one
New
of those
York.
weird. Ah, crap! It was one of those weird states.
Who's the asshole now?
I know. All right, I want you to win. Easy question. Name 3 colors in the American flag.
What was the word?
Red, white, and blue.
No,
I don't know.
You said colors with an S?
Yeah, colors. Name 3 colors.
Yeah, red, white, and blue.
I know. That was easy. John, you're the best. It was fun.
All right, thanks for having me, man, always.
We got silly. We got serious.
Hey, and watch this. I'm going to, well, let's end on a big note. Justin Highlight Gagey is fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov for the title. And I want you to come.
Oh, please. I would love to. Thank you.
Do you know about that fight?
I didn't know about that. I think he has a nickname, though, right? Doesn't he have a nickname?
Justin Highlight Gagey.
Yeah. I think I know him by his nickname. But I'll
My brother Jimmy might be there.
Oh, that was what I was going to ask you. I would love to have you and Jimmy on at the same time.
I'll see what I can do.
Woodworking. We'll do if we could do it through Zoom, it'd be great. Reach out to him. The fans want to see it. I want to see it. And you guys can just go back and forth, and I'll just jump in every now and then. I would love to have you guys.
You know who my new buddy is, right?
Who's that? Who is
Jimmy
he?
Kimmel.
Oh, I saw that. He started following you.
But now we engage in jokes. Almost like on a nightly basis. He's waiting on a raunchy joke from John DiResta.
No way. And what is that? Is that via Twitter or Instagram?
No, that's Instagram. I said to him, "Hey, my brother Jimmy, you might know him. He's made 1 or 2 things for you." And he said, "Yeah, that's how I found you." He said, "I'm a big fan of Jimmy. I found you." And I said to him, "Hey, we know each other. We did like 1 or 2 things together."
That's
so awesome. I'm just hoping maybe I can get booked in his comedy club.
Oh yeah, dude, that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have you, Jimmy DiResta, and Jimmy Kimmel on. We'll all do one big Zoom call.
You got it, bro.
I love you, buddy. Have a good day. Thank you.
in my balls. All right, bro. Thanks.
We're done with this interview.
So the other day I was standing in the kitchen and my son was like, Dad, why did you write down that you weigh 190 pounds? I'm like, I never wrote that. And he goes, look. And he held up my driver's license. And I was like, ooh. My wife goes, yeah, you're not supposed to put down your goal weight. You're supposed to put your actual weight. And then she looks at it again and she goes, and did you put your goal height? And I was like, I might have made myself look taller and thinner on my driver's license. And then my son starts breaking out into a song by Roy Orbison. Remember that? He was like, lying to the DMV. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching my YouTube video. And if you get a chance, watch one of these.
Pocket Party.
And subscribe. All right. Have a great day.